This is a chance of a lifetime for me. I have to take full advantage of it and prove to the public and to myself that, listen, I can go to the next level. I belong to be the top echelon heavyweights.
Can't afford to lose. I don't want to step back 2 steps. I want to step up 2 steps.
This is an opportunity for the world to see what I have, and it couldn't be a better opponent. Couldn't be a better opponent.
I'm a better fighter.
He doesn't bring the talent I have.
I know I can beat him.
He doesn't bring the hand speed or foot speed. He's never fought anyone like me.
It's gonna be a knockout. I don't get paid overtime.
Botha versus Briggs is brought to you by Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts and by Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated king of beers. This Bud's for you. Pay-per-view distributed by Showtime Event Television.
Tonight, we come to you from the world-renowned boardwalk of Atlantic City, New Jersey, famous for the Miss America pageant, saltwater taffy, and all-around summer fun. But the focus shifts to boxing here at the Trump Taj Mahal. A triple header coming your way with our featured attraction, a battle of heavyweights who have their sights set on sports' most coveted prize. And we're back in the Mark G. Edis Arena, a room we opened in 1990 with Thomas Hearns. This arena named in the memory of Donald Trump's close friend and colleague who died tragically 10 years ago. Capacity crowd for boxing. Perhaps here tonight, they hope, over 5,000. Settling in for a big night at the fights. Our main event will feature former IBF heavyweight champion Francois Botha, known as the White Buffalo. This is a rival. Earlier tonight, he enters the scene with hopes that a victory later will bring him closer to another world title opportunity. While he has won 39 of 41 fights, perhaps best known for his 2 losses, as his stock went up in defeat against Mike Tyson and Michael Moore. Tonight, the South African native, who now lives in Las Vegas, in a career crossroads fight. But standing in his path is the man with the golden dreadlocks, number 7 heavyweight contender Shannon Briggs out of Brooklyn, New York, making his way into the arena earlier this evening. He took the boxing world by storm a couple of years ago when he upset former heavyweight champion George Foreman in a controversial majority decision. He hails from Brownsville, the same neighborhood that produced former champions Mike Tyson and Riddick Bowe, and looking to catapult himself back to another shot at the heavyweight crown. His only attempt, a loss to Lennox Lewis. Hello again, everybody. I'm Steve Albert. The heavyweight division is currently in a state of utter confusion. So much is up in the air. It appears now that Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis will ultimately get it on in the rematch. Mike Tyson, who comes off a questionable performance against Francois Botha, is preparing to announce his next fight, possibly within a few days. Will he ever return, though, to championship form? Then you've got the next generation, like Grant, Ibeabuchi, Tua, and Rahman. But their status seems to be on perpetual hold. Botha is here tonight by virtue of a loss, while we still wonder if Shannon Briggs, by all accounts a talented fighter, is championship material. He lost to Lennox Lewis, and many criticized his decision win over George Foreman. While so many issues in the heavyweight division remain unresolved, the winner of tonight's main event could very well place himself in title contention once again. And with that, let me bring on my ringside partners. First, the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. And Ferdy, is there more pressure on Francois Botha to win here tonight?
Well, absolutely, because he's at a plateau where if he doesn't win tonight, he goes over the edge into that abyss called the trial horse. I mean, the contenders that never will make it. So with the scarce money, he has to win. He has to win here, or his career is, for all intents and purposes, downhill.
All right, we turn to our other partner, Bobby Ches. What about Shannon Briggs? A lot of folks think he's in line for a fight with Mike Tyson in the near future. Is he at risk tonight?
Well, Steve, every time you set foot in the ring against another fighter, you put your future and your body at risk. But the risk-to-reward ratio here for Shannon Briggs tonight is nothing short of excellence. On paper, against both, it doesn't appear as if Shannon Briggs could lose. Skill for skill, he is the superior fighter. However, the intangibles, the things you can't put on paper and you can't measure, could be a big factor. But either way, Shannon Briggs has to win by definitive decision or by knockout if he wants to go on and do better things and brighten his future.
All right, it's Botha versus Briggs later tonight in our main event. For more on that, let's check in with our Jim Craig. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Steve. Back in the dressing room with Francois Botha. Friends, how much have you been kicking yourself with that loss to Mike Tyson, that right hand back on January 16th?
Constantly. I mean, I keep thinking about it. You know, it's like a nightmare. But you know, one thing about boxing, you gotta keep going on. You can't go and lie down.
Now, you have said just yesterday to us that you feel that Briggs is a tougher opponent than Tyson. Why?
I believe so because mainly of his size, his height, and he's a little bit faster than Tyson, and he's not so predictable. I mean, Mike's very predictable, and you know, styles make fights. I believe this is a different style, and I believe it'll be a little bit tougher than Mike.
Fran, should you lose this tonight, would it be virtually impossible for you to come back and get any kind of title shot?
Oh no, you know, I don't believe so. I believe that as a fighter, I'm very much so in demand. I mean, Evander Holyfield showed us that, you know, when people think you're finished, you came back and you won the heavyweight championship again. And, you know, we'll just have to see. But I know that I gave myself a couple of more years of boxing, and I'm going to do it all I can. And hopefully I'll be a heavyweight champion again.
Best of luck to you. We look forward to the fight.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it back out to ringside and Steve Albert.
All right, Jim, the always congenial Francois Botha. Tonight, our host venue, the Mark G. Edis Arena in the Trump Taj Mahal. Straight ahead from the Mark G. Edis Arena in Atlantic City, our first bout as the super middleweights take center stage. Highly regarded Omar Sheika against Kevin Pompey. Let's take a look at Kevin Pompey, a tale of two careers, winless his last 6, lost 11 of his last 17. A list of opponents that includes recognizable names. Split a pair with Harold Frazier, lost to Buddy McGirt, Troy Waters, Laurent Fouadouani, had a draw with Donnie Lalonde. His career, though, began in more promising fashion. In fact, prior to his downslide, which began in '93, he was 28-4-1, the high point winning the USBA welterweight belt in '92. Ferdy, even though he has struggled of late, could his experience be a factor, or is he simply tailor-made for Omar Sheika?
I think the latter. He's tailor-made. Anytime you got experience against a very good fighter like Sheika, it's inevitable that Sheika will overwhelm him. He is in his last days, the last days of Pompey.
Oh, I had a feeling we might hear that. Let's take a look at his opponent. Omar Sheika, 17-1, 12 knockouts, made his pro debut in '97 after a very good amateur career. Opened his pro career at the age of 20 with 12 fights in 1 year. He won all 12 after going 14-0 with 9 knockouts. His first and only loss, a decision to a guy named Tony Booth in England. But since the loss, he's knocked out his last 3, all within 3. And Bobby, how good is Sheika?
Well, you know, Omar Sheika's been brought along, Steve, very carefully. He's somewhat of an offensive machine, but tonight becomes somewhat of a proving ground for him. If he can take Kevin Pompey to task, take him out and handle him well, he shows he's ready for the next level. If Pompey makes him look bad, takes him a distance in a sloppy fight, he shows that he's not quite ready to move up just yet.
All right, let's check the numbers as we go to the tail of the tape. At 20, Sheika, get this, 12 years younger than Pompey. 3-inch height advantage for Sheika. The weight almost even. Sheika given a little leeway there, as you can see, 1-inch difference in reach. And the key unified rules for this fight: no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt occurs before the end of the 4th round, it's a technical draw. If it happens after the end of round 4, they go to the scorecard. So here at the Mark G. Edis Arena, we're ready for a scheduled 10-round bout between Omar Sheika and Kevin Pompey. The formal introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the Mark G. Edis Arena here at the magnificent Trump Taj Mahal Casino Resort in Atlantic City, New Jersey, as we have a big night of action coming away, and it's all brought to you by Frank Warren's Sports Network in association with Dylan Productions, Showtime, Event Television, Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts, and the undefeated, undisputed King of Beers, Budweiser. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we present one of our special attractions coming away. Introducing to you our judges appointed by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. The chairman is Jerry Gormley. Judges at ringside from Barnegat, New Jersey, Barbara Pettis. From Edison, New Jersey, Shafiq Rashada. And from Kearney, New Jersey, Paul Venti. With our referee in charge of this bout, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Tony Orlando. All right, fans. fans, here we go with a super middleweight special attraction scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing red trunks and joining us from Troy, New York. He weighed in at 168 pounds with a record of 32 wins, 15 losses, and 3 draws. He has 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the durable contender known as the Troy Tiger, introducing Kevin Pompey. His opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the red corner in this 10-round attraction, entering the ring wearing black trunks with white lettering, fighting out of Paterson, New Jersey. His weight 169 pounds. His fine record stands at 17 wins, 1 loss, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout. He is ranked the IBF number 5 super middleweight contender in the world. They call him the Pride of Palestine and Paterson, introducing Omar Sheika. Once again, a referee in charge, Tony Orlando, now to give instructions. 10 rounds of boxing schedule.
Okay, gentlemen, you received my instructions. Therefore, I expect a clean, professional bout. Is that clearly understood?
Yes, sir.
Listen to my commands. I want you to shake hands, touch gloves, go back to your corner.
Go, Sheika.
Bobby, keys to victory.
Well, Omar Sheika, he's got to land those heavy shots early, and he's got to land them often and break down Kevin Pompey. And the reverse side of that is Pompey has to make Sheika miss and counterpunch very well, take him into the rounds.
This is scheduled for 10 super middleweights, as you saw on the tail of the tape. Sheika pound over. Sheika very aggressive. He is terrifically strong, big banger, and has a solid left hook. Pompey, more of a boxer, counter puncher. Sheika told us Pompey is a warrior. He's fought just about everybody, has respect for him, but he said he'll be fighting to survive. He'll feel my power.
There's certainly no quit in Kevin Pompey. He'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. He doesn't mind. Just put your name on a contract. Let's go.
Pompey, a teacher's aide when he's not fighting in Troy, New York, a middle school up there. He found out about this fight about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, said he turned it down twice before finally saying okay. When I asked him why, he gave in. He said, because I'm adventurous.
I think they might have made it worth his while as well.
Yeah, you can pay a few bills with this, you know.
Yeah, I think dollar signs may have had something to do with it.
At one time, he was also a semi-pro football player in the New England Patriots Farm Club, and they said he was a good cornerback.
Beautiful right hand and left hook by Sheika. He is strong, very determined, and purposeful.
Sheika moving in. Boy, he is a slugger, but Pompey is, no quit in him as well. As Sheika pointed out, the guy is a warrior.
But Sheika's putting in everything he's got into these punches. I mean, these are not feel-out punches, not first-round punches. These are middle-of-the-fight punches.
And if Sheika gets an opponent in trouble, he is a terrific finisher.
Yeah, that's the sheet on him, that he can finish. Once you get in trouble, he knows how to close the door.
You know, he started his training and works out of the Lou Costello Sportsman Club in Paterson, where I first started boxing in 1972.
Yeah, the legendary comedian who teamed up with Bud Abbott was not a bad fighter, Lou Costello.
Ooh, look at that.
Kevin Pompey has fought most of his career at 147. The last few fights moving way up to 168. These are vicious left hooks to the ribs by Sheika.
Now, these are damaging punches, no question about it. This is punishment.
You can see he's just so strong. He's got such an arsenal in both hands, very heavy-handed, and he is committed to every shot he throws.
Yeah, he's not throwing any feel-out punches. Everything is meant to hit something and hurt.
Pompey said he's got to fight intelligently, not let Sheika take control, make him pay when he misses, and watch out for that big punch, the left hook. But that's easier said than done against a powerful guy like Sheika. Straight right hand by Sheika that got through the gloves.
He's setting everything up off the jab, though. He's been to school. Ooh,
oh, these are solid shots, doubling up on the left.
Oh,
yeah, no, he did an over and under as opposed to an under and over, and he threw it well.
And landed it well.
Oh, low blow there by Pompey, but Orlando cautioning him to keep him up. Final seconds of the opening round.
Well,
Oh, it's a pretty good right before the bell by Pompey. Right on the neck.
Sheika very convincing in that first round. He convinced me he's serious.
Give me water. It was a good round. It was a good round.
Sheika, the aggressor here, he loves to come in with combinations. There's a beautiful right hand after an uppercut and a hook. He stayed on top of Pompey, and then he eventually let him go. But he is the aggressor. He's going to put the pressure on and keep the power punches in. He also never neglects the body. Here's a left hook to the head and the body. I talked about a little bit ago, an over and under as opposed to an under and over. Beautiful double left hook.
You hear a lot of that here in Atlantic City, over under.
Yeah.
Here we go, round two, along with the left hooks to the body. Sheika also connecting several times in round one with straight rights to Pompey's head. Let's see if the punishment rages on.
You can also see the difference in size of these two men. Pompey started as a legitimate welterweight, and he's blown up with pounds, but not in body. I mean, he still looks like a welterweight. The other guy looks much bigger.
He looks like a cornerback.
That's what he looks like without the equipment.
As you said, football his first love. He said if he had his brothers, he'd be a football player. He may be thinking about that now.
He can use some of the equipment to keep the bouncing, thudding punches off his head right now.
Pompey was very candid in the interviews. He said, listen, I know they look at me as a journeyman, just a trial horse that they got to get through and do their thing. I'm an underdog. I was brought in here as a sacrificial lamb. He said, but I know I also have to weather a terrible onslaught in the first 3 or 4 rounds if I'm going to have a chance of winning.
Boy, he almost lost his balance there, did Pompey. He's backed against the ropes and gets pummeled here. Down he goes. Big right hand, put him down.
Well, Steve, that right hand was not only good, but it was just so powerful, it drove him to the floor.
Well, I think those punches to the body before really set him up, Bobby. There was 2 or 3 thumping body shots. I mean, clear body shots.
These are sledgehammer shots by Sheika. So the first knockdown of the fight, it comes in the second round. He puts Pompey off balance again, and he is opening up, pouring it on. This could be a matter of moments. Down again.
The punches are too heavy and they're too much.
There's no 3 knockdown rule.
5, 6, 7, 8.
So he's down 58 seconds into round 2, then a minute 23 into round 2.
If he goes down again, Tony Orlando's a very good and confident referee. He will stop this
Yeah,
fight.
maybe academic anyway as far as the rules.
I think he's looking at him right now. If he stops along the ropes and gets pummeled, this referee's going to move in.
Pompey just looking to survive the round. Minute 10. Got a long way to go. Right above us, he's getting drilled. Oh, what a right hand.
Look at the referee, just about to bounce in.
It's very, very close to being over, folks.
Pompey in all kinds of desperate trouble here. And he's got almost a minute to go in the round.
Clearly
Body shots, and then upstairs, pummeling Pompey. Tony Orlando looking in very closely. This could be over very soon.
What's he waiting
seconds.
for?
Oh,
come on.
he's getting destroyed.
What's he waiting for?
Pompey has not really thrown a punch back in quite some time. It can't go much longer.
He can't even stand. His legs are totally rubbery.
There he fired a hook, but it was really not much.
How does this fight continue? You got to stop this fight.
He's been down twice. He has no chance. And he's getting pummeled. And he's an old guy.
He's got tremendous hard guts, though. Hanging in there. Oh, what a right hook by Sheika, and he continues to drill Pompey.
If it wasn't for that last combination backed by Pompey, I'll tell you right now, Tony Orlando put his left shoulder in. He's going to stop.
Pompey fighting back against the crowd around at the bell. Oh, you talk about resolve. He can barely make it to the stool.
There's no quit in him, Steve.
He doesn't start defending himself a lot of times. I'm good. All right, defend yourself, man. He is. The referee's in there. All right. I know. You gotta keep your hands out. If you want to go to war, let's go to war. You can't just stand there and let him punch you, though. It looks bad when he's...
We're going to take a look at those knockdowns. Omar Sheika is so strong that, and his power on his shots, there he almost gets Pompey off his feet, but here he's just banging him with all 150 some odd pounds and just firing it in there. Now that right hand was on the shoulder more than it was on the jaw, but it was so strong it just drove him to the floor. The second knockdown, he was started teeing off on him and catching him clean on top of the head. There, beautiful right hand in the temple. Pompey was driven to the floor once again. That shot much more significant than the first right hand.
Here we go into round 3. Tony Orlando ducked into the Pompey corner and advised Pompey to protect himself. That's pretty good advice. Up. He stumbles but doesn't go down.
It looked like half a slip.
Off balance, Pompey, but Sheika doesn't let up. Relentless attack.
Nice left hook landed by Pompey to actually back Sheika up a little bit. But he just doesn't have the guns. He's not a one-punch knockout artist.
Almost everything Pompey throws is getting through.
Well, they say he can finish, and that's what he almost did last time, but didn't.
2 knockdowns in the last round.
Hey, he should have finished that round off.
Well, I'll tell you, he took a lot of energy to put on that performance in round 2 by Sheika, so he's going to have to settle down now and harness his energy if this fight gets past another round or 2.
Yeah, Pompey just hoping that Sheika punched himself out, but probably not the case. Sheika in tremendous condition.
22 years old, very strong, very young.
I'll tell you what, Pompey not on solid legs.
You know, I'll tell you how much there's no quitting. Pompey. He was in the corner, and the referee said, if you get in trouble like that again, I'm gonna have to stop it. Do you want to continue? He said, sounds good to me.
Well, look at him. He's been doing the fighting this round. Look at him. He's the guy that's taking the beating, yet he's the one that's doing the punching. So Sheika taking a little breather and getting his gas tank to fill up again.
Well, Sheika, in his mind, knows he can have his way at any moment here, but Pompey says otherwise as he answers back with a combination to the head.
Pompey is boxing a little smarter now, mostly because Sheika stopped throwing those big bombs.
And he's letting him get off first.
Booming shots here by Omar Sheika, but a left hook counterpunch by Pompey. Right on the jaw. Oh, there's a heavy right hand by Sheika right on the temple.
That was a beautiful right hand. He slipped the jab and fired a right hand over it and caught Pompey cleanly in the jaw.
Overhand right on target.
Taking in a little desperate with those uppercuts. He shouldn't throw them that far away. I mean, he's got to set it up. He can't just fire from way out there and hit those those uppercuts. Sheika looks tired. He just looks like, hey, I had a big round. Let me take a breather here before I start, which has gotten Pompey brave. What's amazing is that Pompey's got that much left to be firing with that steam that he's doing. Because he took a big beating.
He had just threw a nice triple left hook, 2 to the head, 1 to the body, landed cleanly. But again, he's not the big puncher that Sheika is.
And be mindful, Pompey 12 years older than Sheika. Pompey landing with that left. Those uppercuts not getting through. And a counter. Oh, combination of the head that dropped Sheika at the bell. Interesting.
You know, he might have won that round, Steve. He really worked the round well.
He won that round, Bobby. He worked.
You hurt him with that right hand at the end.
He worked.
Get more water in there.
All right.
You have the same thing. You got to be boxing.
That was a beautiful round. Take some deep breaths. Listen to me. You see me sucking wind right now, right?
Sucking wind.
Now we're start working the body.
You cannot stand up in front of him, though. Don't stand up straight in front of him. You're still not bending your knees. Right. You're still not getting down low. Okay?
Take the head back.
Come on.
All right.
Deep breaths.
We need more. We need more. Make some good body punches. Really good body punches.
Better round now. You're starting to get the rhythm.
All right. Stay focused, Kevin. That was a beautiful round. What? That was a beautiful round. Kevin.
End of the round, Kevin Pompey shows you that he is no quit in him. There's a nice under and over left hook, an uppercut, a few more combinations. Sheika responds, but Pompey fires right back and rocks Sheika with a nice under and over left uppercut right hand.
So here we go into round number 4, scheduled for 10 super middleweights. Things getting most interesting here.
Beautiful right hand just now by Pompey, but Sheika's got some of that energy tank back.
Oh, he's got it back.
He's mad.
Yeah, he got it back. He said, hold it, I was just filling up. Now we resume where we were before.
Yeah, for some reason, Sheika taking off the last round, perhaps punching himself out over the first few rounds, and Pompey able to take advantage and probably won the third. Sheika says to himself, I've had enough. Let's go back to it. Solid left hook, but it was blocked by the glove of Sheika. Combination to the head. The left made it. The right was blocked by Sheika. Now Sheika trying to come in from underneath, but being blocked by Pompey.
Pace is still staying a little slower than the first 2 rounds. Sheika's tank may not be as refueled as we have thought.
And meanwhile, Pompey may be gaining energy. Boy, we thought this thing was over in the second round when Pompey went down twice. 58 seconds and a minute 23.
We were seconds away. Had he not thrown that combination, the referee had his shoulder in there to stop it, and Pompey fired off.
There's a left hook to the neck by Pompey that landed.
Pompey now the aggressor. Roles have reversed just a little bit.
Now Sheika is loading up, which could be somewhat dangerous. He's telegraphing his punches. And let's see if Pompey can take advantage.
He's been loading up with that right hand and letting his left way low. Look at the way he holds his left way down there.
That, of course,
display.
Yes, absolutely. It also displays that he doesn't have respect for Pompey's answers.
Good left hook.
Pompey continuing to press the action and make Omar Sheika back up.
Yeah, Pompey, since the last round, dictating the pace. What a turnaround.
Sheika's nowhere near as effective going backwards as he is coming forward. He is a forward-minded, offensive-minded fighter.
Sheika has split with the train. Oh, what a left and a right off the head by Pompey. Sheika splitting with famous trainer Kevin Rooney. Perhaps that has something to do with it. Oh, a straight right on the chin by Pompey. Another round being won by Pompey. Final seconds.
There's another straight right hand. You know, Pompey's landed a lot of shots in this round.
And there's the bell to end round 4. Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Steve. Coming up in the next bout, we've got Marco Barrera. You were supposed to fight Marco against Vasquez. However, that fight did not come off. Are you disappointed?
Well, this opponent is very hard. I'm coming to win the fight, working very hard for this fight. I'm working in Centro Ceremonial también to look for this fight.
All right, Gladys Rose is going to help us out a little bit, interpreting what was the end of that.
He would say that he has worked very hard for this fight, and he's been working at a Centro Tomí, which is in Temoaya at a very high altitude.
What about his opponent tonight, Marin? Does he know much about him? In English, if possible.
I don't know what happened with Change de Ruiba, because I am working for fight with Vasquez, but wait 30 days between the fight. Señor Ricardo Maldonado called me that he said that I going to fight with Pastor Maurin from Argentina.
All right, we look forward to that fight, and we look forward to Vasquez if we can get that together. They're fighting out in the ring. Steve?
All right, Jim. Reverse translation. It's the first time I've ever seen that. Rounds 3 and 4, the young contender. Sheika learned that the much-traveled veteran Kevin Pompey will not be intimidated. He entered round 5.
No, Kevin Pompey is not going to go quietly into that good night. He came to fight. He got this fight on short notice, and he looks good right now.
Winless in his last 6 fights, 0-5-1.
Oh, what a right hand. Spun him around.
Yep, Sheika out of nowhere.
This is another sequence, though, of Sheika unloads all the rest of that gas tank. What happens if Pompey survives?
He's been loading up that right hand.
Back comes Pompey with a right hand. He works to his left.
Well, he did not follow that great right hand up with the effectiveness he had earlier on. So he certainly is not fighting at full speed.
The vicious nature which he used earlier to try and close the show is not there right now, or the energy is not there.
Speaking of closing the show, this fight could have been stopped in the second round, and nobody would have complained about it.
You know, and if you're looking at just the people that score by rounds, this fight's 2 rounds to 2 rounds. But by points, of course, Sheika's ahead by virtue of that big second round.
Yeah, that may have been a 10-7. Right?
I gave it 10-7 for such a beating. So that makes it 38-36. But by rounds, 2-2.
Halfway through round 5, scheduled for 10. Sheika looking to dig the right uppercut to the body and gets a warning from Orlando to keep the punches up. The combination by Pompey, the left landed.
This fight will really get interesting if we get past the 5th or 6th round. That will really start to tell as the fight goes on just what kind of shape Sheika's in and just what kind of experience factor that Pompey has.
He's all over Sheika, and back comes Sheika. Boy, Pompey with a terrific flurry there. This is some exchange now. Right uppercut by Pompey. Right to the chin of Sheika, and that sent him back. And Sheika comes back. Boy, we've got some ebb and flow going here.
Yeah. You're left with the thought that as long as things are going his way, he's a hell of an offensive fighter, Sheika. But when he gets on the defensive, a lot to be desired here because this old guy is taking him to the cleaners. Pompey is landing combinations. Look at that.
Landed again with a right hand.
He just seems to be getting stronger as this fight goes on.
Come on, let him go, let him go. Let him go, step back clean, okay.
Terrific recuperative powers by the veteran Kevin Pompey, 34 out of Troy, New York.
Another one in this kip for Pompey.
Ano, izquierdo, este lado, in the mouthpiece. No, no, it's not cut. No, it's cut. No, it's no cut. No cut. Relax. Relax.
Every time I heard him.
Relax. Okay. That round there, you heard him, and you didn't want to run out of gas, right? Is that what happened?
Sheika opened up this round with a beautiful right hand, and didn't quite follow up the way he did in the second round. But that right hand had Pompey in trouble, had him very wobbly. But Pompey recovered very quickly. Sheika couldn't keep this sting on him. And Pompey came back with the combinations. Not as big a puncher, but a lot more of them. To the head and body there, 5, 6, 7 shots, followed up with 2 more. And again, another right hand and a left hook. This kid will not quit.
And that was a lot of points being built up, Bobby. A lot of points. So I gave that round to Pompey again. We're now at 3 rounds to 2.
I had that round for Sheika. I thought he was too strong early. And I don't think Pompey did quite enough to steal the round back.
Halfway through this bout, it looks like referee Tony Orlando made the right decision not to stop the fight. Back in round 2. Very interesting bout. Let's get your unofficial scores at the halfway point.
I got Sheika ahead 47 to 46.
Well, you have it awfully tight. Of course, that second round was probably a 10-7 round. Here's Sheika really opening up on Pompey. There's a wicked right hook. Another right hook, but back comes Pompey with a left hook.
Pompey is doing something very cute, Steve. What he's doing is blocking. He's doing his best to block the right hand and counter with a left hook. Normally, you counter a right hand with a right hand. This is not an orthodox counter, but very effective.
Tony Orlando asking Pompey, are you okay? He says, yeah, I'm all right. And he gets right back to it.
He got in a lot of good right hands just then. Low
left hand there by Pompey. Well, he's one gutty fighter, and he's taking a lot, but he's also dishing it out. Pompey in the red. Look at this. Shoe shine on the face. We check the online scoring. It's close at home. Pompey ahead after
I have him same 3-2.
I have it 3-2 the other way. Big right hand by Sheika. Pompey took that very well, but it looked like it hurt him good.
Fans gave rounds 3, 4, and 5 to Pompey.
Yeah, I did too, because of that big rally off the ropes. I mean, he must have hit him 20 good shots. But Sheika looks like he's back a little bit better than in the past rounds. He's gotten him in trouble now 2 or 3 times. There you go. He's punching with a much more authority.
And the difference is Pompey lands, but Sheika's punch is so much more powerful. Big difference here was round 2. Had to be a 10-8 or 10-7 round in favor of Sheika.
The 2 knockdowns usually makes it a 10-7 round.
Right. Combination to the head, but slithered off the face of Sheika.
So, Bobby, what do you got in points?
Good right hand by Pompey.
Points have it 48-45 for Sheika.
Boy, as Pompey digs to the ribs with that left hook. That punch was blocked. It looked good, but it was blocked by the left glove of Pompey. Back comes Pompey. He is some counter puncher, and he can take it. He's absorbed a lot of heat. There's a straight right hand off the combination by Pompey.
He threw a nice left uppercut and a right hand over the top, squaring the button of Sheika.
Sheika's legs are dead. I mean, this guy is just walking around flat-footed like he has 2 irons in his feet. He has no bounce in his legs.
Oh, a straight right hand, right on the nose by Kevin Pompey.
Watch your head, gentlemen.
Shots are just so big and so heavy.
Big finish there by Sheika.
Guy don't go down this right. He's made of fucking steel, bro. Sit down. Hold on, with your Vaseline al lado los ojos. Give me the mouthpiece. Give me the mouthpiece. Good. That was good. That was good. I want you to throw the hook. I want you to double the hook, though. You still didn't double the hook. I want you to double the hook. All right, nice. Huh? He takes a punch. I know he takes a punch. Don't worry about it.
Give me something deep,
We talked about Sheika's right hand. Well, Pompey, he's getting his home, too. Throws a nice jab out there. Bang, right hand, right on the nose. Being very effective. Again, not the puncher that Sheika is. Sheika will not be denied, though. He's going to get his pound of flesh as well. There's a nice right hand down the middle. Not as effective as it was earlier. It doesn't have quite the steam on it. There's a roundhouse. That right hand, much better. Got the adrenaline flowing. More punches to follow just as the round closed.
Omar Sheika has been past the 4th round only once in the last 6 fights as we enter round 7, and he lost that fight, so he could have a stamina problem.
Well, that corner man said he must have a jaw of iron if he can take this. And the fighter said, man, that guy can take a punch.
Yes, Sheika's new corner, Al Velasquez. Once again, we see a fighter taking a fight on short notice and comes in seemingly very prepared and ready to go at it.
The only explanation I can have is this guy must stay prepared. You know,
a lot of guys do that too. A lot of guys work out regularly, just ready to go, and he's starting to be considered somewhat of an opponent journeyman. So he stays ready when the call comes. The number's right. He does what he has to.
He got some slickum on his foot.
Yeah, let's hope we don't have a recurrence of what we had in Atlantic City back in the winter when some water gets on the advertisements. It gets slick.
Well, and also they were just painting this as we walked in early this afternoon. They were still painting it, so that's pretty wet.
At first I thought he was doing a Michael Jackson imitation, doing a little slide backwards.
He's got 2 gloves on, not 1.
Okay.
Round 7. He's got that habit of extending his arms out too for a second.
It must be his arms are cramping up, or he's getting a little stiff. He's an old guy. And
if I'm Sheika, when I see him doing that, what would you do?
Well, you can't get to him in time.
Okay.
He does it from pretty far away.
Oh, there's a solid right cross. Man, was that a bashing right cross by Pompey, right upside the head.
Right, but you understand, he doesn't have the power. It's more of an arm shot than a Sheika punch. A Sheika right hand is being turned in, right leg, right hip, all firing in with his back. Pompey not that big a puncher, but throwing crisp combinations.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have that much impact on Sheika.
Yeah, but I'm going back to the top of the show when Bobby said, listen, this is a fight where this guy's got to show us what he's got. He's been going with easy guys. Now let's see what he's got with a veteran. If he doesn't look good, well, look what's happening. Look what's happening to him. He's getting hit by everything this Pompey's throwing. And it's Pompey. Imagine if you're fighting a real good fighter getting in those right-hand shots.
By a guy who is supposed to be a washed-up fighter.
Yeah, and a blown-up welterweight.
On top of it, right, and 12 years older.
So, I mean, if he's landing those shots, imagine a real cannon landing. Look at that.
Oh, look, a right hand there. Overhand right by Kevin Pompey. That rattles Sheika. As we head for the foul in round 7, there's that thing he does again, Pompey. All right, let's get it over to Bobby Ches for a look via the telescreen.
One of the better punches on the inside. Here you see shorter fighter, okay? Shorter fighter, Pompey against a taller man. He's got all the leverage in the world to this uppercut right up on the inside. One of the most effective punches in the world as we roll the tape. This is just a beautiful shot on the inside. What he should have come back with was a left hook right behind that, but that is how you work on the inside.
You're backing him up the whole goddamn time. You gotta throw more punches backing him up. Deep breath, come on.
You gotta get off. That's all it is.
3 rounds. Come on. You're winning this fight, man. Let's see these last 3 rounds for Elijah, all right?
Come on.
Elijah. Let's go, man. Let's go, man.
Longtime friend Billy Growick in the ear of Kevin Pompey. They came up together in the amateurs. They're about the same age. Meanwhile, a sense of urgency in that Omar Sheika corner, round 8. And what a bounce back situation here for the man in red, veteran Kevin Pompey. He took this fight on short notice. He's the heaviest he's ever been in his career, but he is showing good stamina here, Pompey.
And Sheika, who comes in here with his great reputation being a finisher, meanwhile didn't finish in the second round, and all of a sudden he is showing a leaky defense. It's leaking right hands.
What you have to wonder is if you got a fighter who punches as good as Sheika, punching back at Sheika, what'll happen?
And here comes Sheika. Non-stop attack, very aggressively pouring it on, and Tony Orlando steps in, and Pompey can't believe it. Pompey very upset.
Look at, tell you what, I'll tell you what.
Too many punches.
That one's interesting.
Too many punches. I wasn't in the crowd.
All you do is look.
What was the time? 44.
So Tony Orlando hearing it from the crowd, Pompey and his corner extremely upset that they stopped the fight based on what had happened earlier.
Well, you know what, Steve? Based on what happened in the second round, based on the fact that he survived triple that onslaught, I think Tony Orlando made a judgmental error. I think he's a great referee. I have a lot of respect for him. I think based on what we've shown Pompey can take and come back from, he has to withstand, he has to absorb, he has to allow the bigger, heavier man to unload and come back. And I really think that that was a short stoppage.
Damn.
I think if it was going to be a stoppage, the one in the second round was justified. They should have stopped it. He was taking a beat, but not this one.
That I could live with.
I'm not going to question it because I thought he should have stopped it in the second round. So I'm not going to question it.
Well, we're going to take a look at it. Pompey is on the ropes. He's got his back to the ropes. Sheika comes in, stronger man. Now those shots weren't real clean. 2 of those were really clean. 3 and 4 and 5 landed. A lot of this stuff though misses. Some of the stuff here is more show than go. At the same time, Pompey did not, to Tony Orlando's credit, fire back. He needed to fire back, not just cover. We'll look at it from another angle. Pompey setting his guy up. I believe he came out with this on his mind. He'd beaten his guy enough, worked him, worked his body, worked his jaw. A few of these shots are very clean, but they're not the same big shots in the second round. I had a better feeling about the second round if he would have stopped it than I did here. Pompey showed that he could take this kind of punishment and come back, and I don't think that was as bad as the second round. An overhead last look at it. You see that right hand doesn't hit. They don't really catch him. That one does down the middle. That one does. Every other right hand seems to catch it, but a few of those just are swinging shots, punching through the gloves. Not real effective shots, not real clean shots. But again, Pompey did not punch back.
And you know what?
That is key.
It may have been an unpopular decision. Tony Orlando is a very good referee. He's right there on top of the action. And I've got to believe he made the right call. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon with his call.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the time of 44 seconds in round number 8, our referee in charge stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, the pride of Palestine and Patterson, Omar Sheika.
44 seconds, round 8, TKO for Omar Sheika. But a lot more compelling and dramatic than anticipated by Sheika and by the fans. Well, coming up next, let's hope we have the same terrific action. Championship action. WBO junior featherweight title at stake. We go behind the scenes into the dressing room of Marco Antonio Barrera, the champion. Relentless fighter, comes off the impressive second round TKO over Paul Lloyd in Lloyd's backyard of England back in April to retain the title. You may recall Lloyd provided some difficulty for Prince Nassim Hamed, but he was no trouble for Barrera. Tonight, Barrera's 14th world title fight as he takes on relatively unknown Pastor Marin. We're ready for post-fight reaction from our last bout. This should be interesting. Let's go to the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, in the ring. Ferdy?
That fight much harder than it looked in the second round. You think he should have been stopped?
Well, in the second round, I exploded on him, maybe a little bit too much, but he surprised me a lot. I knew he was a tough fighter coming in. He fought 5 tough-ranked guys in the world, and they all took him decisions. So my goal was to stop him and come in, but he was a lot stronger than I thought. He could take a very good punch, and I give a lot of credit to him. He's a warrior fighter, and I need his kind of experience moving on to a world title fight.
Did you kind of run out of gas after the second round? For the third and fourth and fifth, he took the rounds one after the other.
Well, I knew, I got a little overpunched myself, but I'm in great shape. I knew I had 10 rounds. I tried to take him out too early. I knew I had a whole night. So I knew he's a tough fighter. He's going to keep coming. So I just let him build his confidence up once he got close. And when I had him hurt, I just started. I got my win back with the beginning of the round. Kevin, hate to say it, but he was going to go anyway, buddy.
I'm sure we're going to have a different opinion over here. But, Pompey, come in here a second. You deserve to be right in here.
Yeah.
That stoppage, you screamed and hollered no.
Yeah.
You didn't think you should have been stopped?
No, because when he hit me in the earlier rounds, that was even more than that. You know what I'm saying? He had me on Queer Street, and I got myself back together. Right there, he didn't hurt me at all. It was like nice bludgeoning punches, hit me. I'm trying to come back, right when I was going to throw a hook, the referee comes and grabs me. You know what I'm saying?
So you thought you could continue on. Did you think you had a chance of winning the fight? It was a pretty close fight.
I thought I was ahead in the scoring. I was after he come on. I'm fighting. I'm fighting. I'm biased. I'm biased to myself.
Orlando, come here.
You know what I'm saying?
Where's Orlando? Hey, Orlando, can you talk to us a second? We're in the middle of a heated dispute here between two guys. We thought the second round you could have stopped it without any problem.
He did a great job.
But did you think that last round should have been stopped because he claims he's not really getting it?
I'll tell you something. I almost stopped it in the third, was it the second round, whatever. But my main job is the safety of the boxer. He kept coming back, and I appreciated that. I let him continue many times when he got hit with some good punches. But he wanted to passive defense. He got hit with about 8 to 10 shots. How far do you let it go? I'd rather him come back and fight another day. And I congratulate him on a great fighter.
All right, let's turn around. But with its miracle of here, let's take a look at round 2. This is one I thought it should have been stopped. Here's the first knockdown now. All right. Talk to us.
Well, I seen him right there to the ropes. I seen I had him hurt. So I was going for the finish. I told you I'm a terrific finisher. But he was a veteran fighter. He could take a good punch. So I knew that I had to throw more combination punches than one punch.
Now that one was high on the shot. Now the second one, you take it, Pompey. Were you conscious of what
I
was
was very conscious.
Take the look at
I knew it was coming.
Tell us.
I knew he was going to come wide with one shot, and then when he came wide with the one shot I was looking for, I was going to counter real hard with him. I was waiting my time.
Now that was a very good knockdown. It was not there, but following that he took the punishment that we thought you should have stopped the fight there after 2 knockdowns.
Yes, I was very close. Matter of fact, I couldn't come closer to pulling the trigger like I did at that time. But he came back. He was responsive.
He was that. We've had a damn good fight here. Hey, we can't complain. All right, end of the fight. Let's go. Let's take a look at this.
You see me? I had my energy. I was going to just explode, but he was taking good, clean punches right there. Referee wouldn't have stopped it. He was going to the corner. He was ready to go. He had his hands down. Referee saved your life, buddy.
Where's the hook? They ran the glove.
Yeah. And the fight continues. The fight continues, but nonetheless, the winner is Sheika. And we go back to Steve Albert at ringside as the argument continues.
All right, thank you. Thanks very much, Ferdy. Through 7, the judges had it for Sheika all the way, 67-64, 67-65, and 68-63. And round 2 was scored by 2 judges 10-8, by 1 judge 10-7. But Sheika making it academic in round 8.
Well, I had it 67-64, so I agree with one of the judges. I believe it was Barbara Perez.
Sheika goes to 18-1 with 13 knockouts. And Pompey 32-16-3. We checked the online voting, and they had it Pompey's way, 5-3. And if you took part, we thank you for your participation. The online voting will continue at the start of our next bout, Pereira versus Marin. Let's get it over to